Could Starfield have been 60 FPS on Xbox Series X? Yeah, it could have easily run 60 FPS on the Series X, and today I'm gonna tell you why. 60 FPS is a major ask for some gamers, especially if you prefer to play in the first-person view. I mean, first-person shooters that are not 60 FPS at least just don't work. So let's look at the current state of this game. It is locked to 30 FPS on both the Series S and Series X. Series S runs the game at 900p native and 1440p upscaled. Series X runs it at 1440p native and 4K upscaled. The image quality is actually fairly sharp on the more powerful Series X. AMD FSR2 does a good job of restructuring it to that higher 4K resolution. From playing the game on both console and PC, I can say that the Series X seems to be running the game at medium graphic settings, while the Series X is likely running this at high settings. I think most people agree that the Series S is pretty much stretched to its limit, so maybe leave it at 30 FPS. But on the Series X, we could have easily gotten a second graphic option, performance mode, and to get that 60, perhaps they could have scaled back the image quality to have it similar to the Series S, 900p native and maybe 1440p upscaled or even 1080p upscaled. That lower fidelity should be enough to deliver a 60 FPS target on the Series X. And here's kind of my reasoning for why. I did a lot of tests. I played the game on a bunch of different devices. When I ran the game on Steam Deck, it could give me close to 40 FPS at times. Keep in mind, Steam Deck is a portable console and significantly less powerful. And that small little device is still running it, even though it's kind of blurry, 720p upscaled, and it's perhaps 480p native. I also played Starfield on my main gaming PC, which does have a 11th gen i7 processor and NVIDIA RTX 3080. With that machine, I could run Starfield at 60 FPS, and it was fairly stable for most part, staying above 50 FPS in almost all the areas, and all of that was with the graphics set to high. I did have the native resolution at 1080p, and it was upscaling that to 4K using AMD FSR2. I also have a third PC I tested this on, and that's a slightly weaker build, maybe worth about $500. That PC has an i5 processor with the RTX 1660, and look at this, even that lower end PC with 5-year-old hardware can run Starfield at 45 FPS. Settings here are 900p native, 1080p upscaled. The graphics are set from low to medium settings. So really, that's my point. You got weaker hardware that can run the game at a higher FPS than the Series X. If all those other PC-based devices can give us an option with unlocked frame rate, I mean, why can't Xbox Series X? And that's a point I'm trying to make while just showing you how Starfield runs on all these different devices compared to the Series X. I think they should have put a priority on the 60 FPS performance mode before release. It's something we might see months later, but by that time, a lot of people would have just already moved on from this game. And I know Microsoft knows how important FPS is. I mean, look how much priority they've given to that whole FPS boost with the Series S and X on older games. Now, another thing that's missing from the console version is mouse and keyboard support. While I can play with both controller and mouse and keyboard on my little Steam Deck and pretty much every PC, you can't do that on Xbox. This is usually something Microsoft's usually good at. Look at Halo Infinite, look at the countless other games where we have native mouse and keyboard controls. Now, Sony, on the other hand, doesn't really support mouse and keyboard on PS5. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, a game where mouse and keyboard is a huge game changer, it doesn't have mouse and keyboard support on PS5. Even the recent first-person shooter Immortals of Avium didn't have mouse and keyboard support on the PS5, but guess what? That game from EA did work with mouse and keyboard on the Series S and X. If you want to play Starfield with mouse and keyboard, then you should just get the PC version. I'm not sure if we're ever gonna get mouse and keyboard on console for this game. The good news is that both PC and console versions are on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass Ultimate, it's all included. So that was my little rant about Starfield's missing features on console. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me, or am I just blowing hot air?